Hello, and welcome to this introductory presentation about MO1025 Education and Training. This module explores the provision of education and training activities in the workplace. You will be guided to identify, develop, implement, and report on a small educational activity. The intended learning outcomes for this module are that you'll be able to identify principles of learning and teaching related to workplace education and training activities, apply knowledge and skills to the delivery of a work-based educational activity for students and/or staff, and reflect critically on the outcomes and implications for your own practice and/or the local service context. This module goes for 6 weeks with 22 hours expected workload. You can see the weekly topics here. In week 1, Introduction to Learning in the Workplace, you will reflect on your own experiences of learning in the workplace before describing frameworks for understanding the process of learning. You will then explore different styles of learning and teaching and examine enablers and barriers regarding workplace learning. In week 2, Planning an Educational Activity, you will articulate a learning need or opportunity to be addressed in your workplace and identify the profile of your learner or learners. You will then develop learning objectives and measures to evaluate outcomes before identifying potential enablers and barriers to achieving the learning outcomes. Finally, you'll identify key content and teaching methods before completing and submitting a draft learning plan. In week 3, Planning an Educational Activity continued, you will share your draft learning plan with your peers before discussing with your supervisor and incorporating relevant feedback. In week 4, Implementing an Educational Activity, you will describe principles for building effective learning and teaching relationships and identify frameworks for structuring an educational session or training activity. You will explore the use of questioning to promote critical thinking before identifying a model for both assisting skills acquisition and facilitating reflection on learning. Finally, you'll learn how to provide constructive feedback to learners. In week 5, Implementing an Educational Activity continued, you will carry out your educational activity and document your observations of the experience before seeking and summarising feedback on the activity. In week 6, Reflecting on Outcomes, you will meet with your supervisor to discuss the outcomes of your activity before completing a reflective critique. Each week you will have several learning activities that will take up to 4 hours a week to complete and includes the time you spend on your assessment. A single assessment task is due at the end of the module in week 6. The task is a written reflection in which you will critique the educational activity you undertake. You will also have the opportunity to submit a formative piece of work at the end of week 3. This is a written learning plan for the educational activity you'll undertake. It will also form part of the final assessment task so you can refine it before you submit it for grading at the end of the module. We've built in some opportunities for you to interact with the content, the module coordinator, and other participants who are taking the module at the same time. There are learning activities which include contributing to online discussions. This will provide a chance and an expectation for you to swap professional insights with others who may be from the same or other health professions. This mutual exchange of knowledge is the basis of successful collaborative team practice, so we hope you'll join in. You'll find the module outline in the Start Here folder. It contains your module coordinator's contact information, all details of the assessment task and marking criteria, information about applying for extensions, any module prerequisites, and the module calendar. Please don't hesitate to get in touch for any questions or concerns and enjoy the module.